Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Welcome to Swayam Prabha. The course title is Principles of Marketing. The lecture title is Introduction to Marketing. This is Module 1, Lecture 1. I am Dr. Soma Sengupta, Associate Professor Commerce, Kamla Nehru College, University of Delhi. In this lecture, we are going to cover the following topics: meaning of marketing and key concepts, nature of marketing, importance of marketing, scope of marketing, development of contemporary marketing thoughts, marketing management. In this module, we will specifically study the meaning of marketing and the key concepts. Concept of marketing. In earlier times, the process was quite simple. The producer's job was to produce the products according to his convenience and then sell it off to the buyer. And the buyer used to buy the products whichever is available, whatever is available in the market. So no one paid attention to the customer's need and after buying it, whether they are satisfied with the product or not. Also, whether there will be repeat purchase of the product or not, the producers were not concerned about that. In marketing, all these things were taken care of. That is, marketing begins with identification of needs of the customer, then producing the products accordingly, selling it off, then finding out whether they are satisfied with the customer or not, and also providing different kinds of after sales service. So we can say that marketing is a broader term and selling is just a part of it. So one definition given by Philip Kotler: marketing is a societal process by which individuals and groups obtain what they need and want through creating, offering, and freely exchanging products and services of value with others. In this definition, different concepts of marketing, they are embedded in it. So we can say that first of all, it is a societal process because it takes place within an environment, and which is the society within which it takes place, and it affects the society as well as gets affected by the society. Then it can be done by individuals and groups. They can act as sellers as well as the buyers. How they obtain the products, why they obtain the products: to satisfy the need and want. So that is another aspect. Another one is that how they obtain it: through freely exchanging, offering and exchanging products. So exchange comes into picture. Products can be goods and services. And the final outcome of the whole of the process of marketing is that each of the party wants value for their money. The buyers want value for their money. That means they should get more benefits out of the product than whatever they are shelling it off. Whatever money they are paying, in comparison to that, they want more benefits. Likewise, the producer in that process, they want to sell the product and get profits and revenues. So this is the whole process of marketing, or definition of marketing. Another definition which is given by W.J. Stanton: marketing is a total system of interacting business activities designed to plan, price, promote, and distribute want-satisfying products to target markets to achieve organizational objectives. So here they are talking about the different elements of marketing like price, promotion, distribution, and the product also in the form of planning. Also, they are talking about satisfying the wants of the customer or the target market, and which is necessary to achieve the organizational objectives. So organizational objective of profitability, market share, all depends upon the satisfaction of wants and needs of the customer. Now, another definition which is given by American Marketing Association. Marketing is the process of planning and executing the conception, pricing, promotion, and distribution of ideas, goods, and services to create exchanges that satisfy individual and organizational objectives. So they are repeating the things like one, the elements of marketing like product, price, promotion, and distribution. They are talking about products in terms of goods, services, and ideas. Also, they are talking about exchanges, and the idea is to satisfy individuals as well as the organization and organizational objectives. So with these three definition, I believe the concept of marketing is clearly drawn. Now, one by one, we are going to discuss the different concepts of marketing or the key concepts of marketing which are embedded in the definitions that we have discussed. First key concept is needs, wants, and demand. We have to distinguish between these three elements, that is needs, wants, and demand. First, we will discuss needs. Need is a state of deprivation of some basic satisfaction. Like deprivation of food, if it is there, then you will feel hungry. So hunger is one of the need, or need for food is can be considered as one basic need. So example of needs are food, clothing, shelter, and there can be other biological needs also, like the need for sex. So this is about need, and needs are few in number. They marketers, they don't create needs. It is embedded in a person. The needs exist in the very nature of the human biology, and so as I said that marketers do not create them, and they are few in number. Then comes the next one, and that is wants. Wants are desires for specific product or specific satisfiers of needs. So suppose you are hungry, then what can satisfy your need of hunger? So one can be you want a chocolate to satisfy the need for food or hunger, or a hamburger. So these are different ways to satisfy a basic need, that is hunger or deprivation of food. Wants are many, because you can go for any product to satisfy one specific need for food. So you can go for a say chocolate or a burger or a pizza. So wants are many. Human wants are continuously shaped and reshaped by family, reference group, social forces, and also the marketers. So family status, family people, members of the family, they will design the wants which are there in you. So they may tell you about that this thing suits you, this product you should buy. Likewise, you emulate your friends who are there in the reference group, your classmates, what type of products they are consuming, what they are wearing. So that also has an impact on your wants. Social forces, the area where you are staying, the community to which you belong, and also the marketers will continuously, they are giving you showing you the advertisements, and through advertisements also your wants are shaped. The third element is demands. Now demands, they are more specific if we compare it with wants. So they are wants for specific products that are backed by the ability and willingness to buy them. So when you want to buy a chocolate, you must have a specific amount of money, say 40 rupees or 50 rupees, to buy if we say Cadbury's Dairy Milk chocolate of a particular amount of grams. So you should have that much money in your pocket to buy that product. You want a luxury car, good enough. You want your wants are many, but do you have that much amount of money, say 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs, to buy a luxury car? If you don't have that amount of money, then or your purchasing abilities are not matching with your wants, we can say that there is no demand. So if in a particular country everybody desires expensive product, we can say that wants are there. But if they don't have the purchasing power, the demand for such expensive product is not there in that area or in that country. So demands are wants which are backed by purchasing power. Now we come to the influences. We have discussed about the family reference group, which influences your needs, especially wants and demands. So the marketer, they can have an influence on it. Sometimes you don't have a purchasing power, but you go beyond that, you take a loan kind of thing and buy the product. So how marketers influences your wants and demand? Wants and demands are influenced by the marketer by making the products attractive, affordable, better distribution of the product, aggressive promotion. So by using different marketing tools, the marketers, they have an impact on your wants as well as on demands. The second key concept of marketing is products. Products is something which is offered by the marketer to the buyer. Now, a product is anything that can be offered to satisfy a need or want. Product has different aspects. There is it can be physical goods like the tangible part. So whatever you can see and touch, that is a tangible goods or a product. When you go to a restaurant, the food which is being served to you, that food is tangible, and that's why it can be considered as product. But in your household, you find television, refrigerator, they are also products, they are tangible goods, as well as non-durables like the toothpaste, or semi-durable like the t-shirt, they are also products or tangible goods. Now another part is services, that is the intangible part. You are provided with different kind of services, like you go to a parlor and the beauty parlor is giving you certain services like cutting your hair and everything. So that is a service. Intangible, it can't be felt, it can't be touched, but in any ways it is serving you. Likewise, as we will continue with the example of that restaurant, the food was the tangible part, but when it is served by the waiter at your table, that is a service. Beside that, the ambience of the restaurant, that is again a part of the service. Then comes ideas. Ideas are the feeling part, that is in the restaurant you are feeling enjoyment, so that is the idea. Saving your time, so going to the restaurant, not cooking at home, going to the restaurant and having this is an idea that there you will save time as well as enjoy more, and you will get specific delicious food. So that is the idea of having a lunch or a dinner in a restaurant. But the ideas can be very broad also, like donate your eyes. Donate eyes, or any kind of a social campaign like say no to plastic bag. These are also ideas, and they are also being sold as a tangible good or service. As we are using marketing for services, marketing for goods, ideas are also being marketed by the initiator of the cause. Then what is the marketer's task? The marketer's task is to describe and promote physical product and its features, and they do that well by advertising the products. But also they have to sell the benefits built into physical products. That means the ideas and the services which are attached to that tangible products, they are also being sold to the customers, or they are described by the marketer. So this is all about products. The third key concept, it is very important, is value, cost and satisfaction. First of all, what is a value? Now, value is the consumer's estimate of product's overall capacity to satisfy his or her needs. So it means whatever they are spending on a product, is the product serving that purpose or not, for which the customer is paying so much of money. So because the customer is continuously doing some calculation in his mind, that whatever I am paying for a particular product, is the product giving me more benefit than the cost? So if you are getting more benefit from the product in comparison to the expenditure, then we can say that I have got value for my product. So that is the whole concept of value. So here the customer is doing cost benefit analysis. Value is equal to benefits divided by cost. But this is not simple, that simple. How will you calculate benefit, or how will you calculate cost? So there are many elements which are included in these two terms. So the value is, as I said, benefit by cost, but the benefit may be functional benefit, that is the real benefit it is giving, and the emotional benefit, that is the other things which are emotional elements which are attached to the functional benefit or to the product. Say for example, if you are going to buy a car, the basic purpose or the functional benefit of all cars is helping the customer in transportation, that is from moving from one place to another. But there are many emotional benefits attached with different kinds of car. So when you are buying a luxury car, then naturally the prestige element is there. You want to show off the world that you are an exclusive person. So conspicuously you are consuming the product to show off everybody that you are owning a luxury car, that prestige value. So that is the emotional benefit. Likewise, suppose you are buying a electric car or an electronic car, there is a functional benefit that you are saving on say petrol prices and all, but there are emotional benefits also, that you are an environment friendly person. So this is about functional benefit and emotional benefit. When we talk about cost, there is one simple one, that is the monetary cost, that is the price you are paying in money terms to the seller. That is monetary cost. But there are certain other costs which are also involved when we are calculating the total cost. The time and energy that you are spending on buying the product, the psychic cost, that is the psychological things, like you have to make an effort to go, whether it will have an impact on your emotional attitudes and all. So that is the psychic cost involved. So all this taken together is considered as the cost of buying a particular product. So product that is estimated to provide maximum value per unit of money paid is selected. So they do the calculation for inexpensive product. This calculation is quite fast and simple. For expensive product, you make a lot of effort in finding out whether you will get the desired benefit by spending so much of money. So that is the value part. So the next one is cost. As we have said, that cost has many elements like monetary price as well as time, energy and psychic cost. But cost is the price which in nutshell we can say cost is the price which the customer pays for the product. Now satisfaction, when will it happen? Of course, the customer will do the value plus cost analysis or benefit cost analysis, and consumers choose a product which will give highest satisfaction at a given cost. So that is the whole process of buying the particular product by analyzing value, cost and satisfaction. But satisfaction also depends on two more things, that is what is your expectation and how is the performance of the product. So suppose the performance is less than your expectation, then what will happen? You will come out disappointed. Suppose you have heard a great review about a particular movie, so it has increased your expectation. Now when you go to the theater to watch the movie, you find that it is not meeting your expectation. The movie is not bad, but your expectations are too high and the performance falls below it. So what will happen? You will be disappointed. So the customer will be disappointed. Now if the performance and expectations match perfectly, then you are a satisfied customer. But if performance is higher than the expectation, so you went to see a movie without any expectation, you don't know anything about it, and the performance was good enough, so but you will feel delighted because your expectations were very less from the full film and the performance is very high, so you come out delighted. So this happens not only for movies but for any kind of product. So satisfaction, as I said, it depends upon two things, that is the cost benefit analysis, if benefits are more than cost, and second thing is it is a trade off or a function of two things, that is expectation and performance. So this is about value, cost and satisfaction. The fourth key concept of marketing is exchange and transactions. So there is a saying that how will you obtain the product? Beg, borrow or steal. But that doesn't happen in real world, and in real world, to obtain a product, both the parties, that is the buyer and the sellers, they enter into an exchange process. So what is exchange? It is the act of obtaining a desired product from someone by offering something in return. So there are at least two parties. Each of them have something to offer and that is of value to the other, and that's why they exchange the two things and they obtain whatever they want. So through negotiation and moving towards agreement, they exchange the products. It is also considered as value creating process because both the parties gain or become better off. So and after as the exchange takes place, then one exchange can be considered as transaction. So one exchange process can become a transaction. When it is completed, then it is a transaction. Transaction is a trade of values between two or more parties. It takes place when the agreement is reached. Transaction can be monetary transaction or barter transaction. Monetary transaction is trading for money, and when we talk about barter transaction, in earlier times when money was not there, the currencies were not there, people used to exchange the products. Each one of the party, they have a particular product, they value it against the other product, and accordingly they decide the number of units to be transferred from one party to another, and for product you are buying another product. So that is barter system. But nowadays also it happens in many cases. Here trading of goods and services is done for other goods and services. So this is the barter phenomena. But most of the transaction nowadays happen in monetary values. So monetary transactions are more in number. Then essentials of transaction are at least two things of value. Each one of them should possess. Each of the parties should possess. Each party is possessing one thing of value. Conditions are agreed upon. Time and place of agreement is there or fixed. Legal system enforcing compliance of both the parties. So that completes a transaction. The fifth key concept is market, where the buyer and seller will exchange the product. So that is the market. But there are different definitions of market from different viewpoints. A market consists of all the potential customers sharing a particular need or want, who might be willing and able to engage in exchange to satisfy that need and want. So this here we are saying that market is a place whereby the customer is sharing his need and want and is and engaging in an exchange process to satisfy that need and want. Now, economist's definition is market refers to a collection of buyers and sellers who transact over a particular product or product class. So that is a collection of buyers and sellers is considered as market. For marketing purposes, the marketer's definition is they see the sellers as constituting the industry and the buyers as constituting the market. There are many other ways of interpreting this term market. Some say that even if there is only one person who is willing to sell and one more person who is willing to buy, so we can say that there is a market for the product. Also, some says that market to be considered as a market, it should have some continuity or continuous transaction should take place. But whatever it is, we will go by the here for our purposes a definition, the one in which we are talking about sharing of needs and getting it satisfied, and the marketer's definition where we are considering sellers as the industry and the buyers as the market. Related to the market, another key concept is marketers and prospects. So, who is the marketer? A marketer is someone seeking one or more prospects who might engage in an exchange of values. He is the one who is seeking response and he plays the an active role. So what does it mean? It means that a marketer is the one who is having a product and looking for customers to buy the product, and for that purpose he is actively engaging in that search process and promoting the product through advertising. So he is the marketer. Who is the prospect? A prospect is someone whom the marketer identifies as potentially willing and able to engage in an exchange of values. So, where the marketer search ends on a particular person or a group of persons, we can say they are the prospects to whom he will sell the product, and prospects will buy the product. So, prospects in a way, they are the buyers of the product, but they play less active role. So they have to be coaxed, they have to be, their needs have whatever needs are there, they have to be made realize that such deprivation is there and this product will fulfill their wants. So the active part is played by the marketer and the passive part is played by the prospect. Now, if both the parties are actively seeking an exchange, that means both have something to offer and both are engaging in searching and actively participating, then both of them can be considered as marketers, because here the definition of marketer says one who seeks the prospect. So both the parties are looking for a prospect. So although each one of them becomes a prospect for the other also, but since they are seeking exchange, both of them can be considered as marketers. The last key concept is relationship and network. Now, as we have said once, that a one-time transaction is generally not considered as the whole phenomena of marketing or market, because we believe in building a long-term relationship with the customer. And there lies the difference between marketing and selling. In selling, we are not thinking about building a long-term relationship. We are just selling off whatever we have produced without taking care of the needs and satisfaction of the customer. But when we talk about marketing, we are very much concerned about building a long-term relationship and network with the customer, so that there are repeat purchases, they become your loyal customer, because so much of competition is there. If they don't become loyal, they will switch from your brand to another brand. So relationship marketing and building network is an objective of the marketer also. It refers to the process of building long-term satisfying relationship with customers, suppliers and distributors, results in strong economic and social ties between key players, and it reduces ordering and delivering time and cost in a transaction, because the network is too strong. As and when you are getting the order, you can look for the supplier and get it delivered. Nowadays we are talking of online transaction and just in time technology. They are building relationship with not only the customer, but also with your network of suppliers and distributors is also very important. So these are the key concepts of marketing. Selling versus marketing, we have already discussed a lot about both the terms. Now we will differentiate between the two. Talking about the starting point, in case of marketing concept, it is the market. In case of selling concept, it is the factory. Focus in case of marketing, it is on customers' need, and in selling, it is on existing products. Whatever you have produced, you want to sell it off. When we talk about means, marketers use integrated marketing. That means taking care of all the elements of marketing like price, product, promotion, distribution, and all other departments also. But when we talk about selling, it is selling and promoting. That means they believe in promoting the product or promotion of the product only. The ends they seek, in case of marketing, it is profits through customer satisfaction, but in case of selling, it is profits through sales volume. Now remember, say if you are looking for profits through sales volume only, it is a very short term goal. But when you are talking about profits through customer satisfaction, it is a long term goal, and you are also thinking in terms of repeat purchase and continuity of the organization. So specifically, the difference between selling and marketing are as follows. First, focus. In selling, it is on sellers' needs. In marketing, it is always customers' needs and wants. Emphasis. In selling, sale of goods already produced. So they have produced the goods without thinking about the needs of the market. But in marketing, product planning and development to match the products with the market or the customer's needs. Philosophy, seller or product enjoys supreme importance in case of selling. In case of marketing, customer is the king. Aim, in selling, profits through sales volume. In marketing, it is profits through customer satisfaction. So as I have discussed, that selling has a short-term goal and marketing has a long-term goal. Means, selling, in case of selling, it is promotion, basically selling and promotion, hard selling and promotion. In case of marketing, it is integrated marketing. That means all the elements of the marketing mix put together, as well as all the departments going towards a particular goal. Principle followed when it comes to selling, it is caveat emptor or buyer. That is, let the buyer beware. Before buying, they have to be beware, because after buying the product, if they are dissatisfied, the organization or the manufacturer is not going to take care of it. But in marketing, it is caveat vendor. First of all, that is, let the seller beware. So the seller should not sell any wrong product to the customer, and if the customer is dissatisfied, the seller, it is the seller's responsibility to satisfy him by either removing the defect or replacing the defective product, or giving certain vouchers to the buyer, so that they can use it in their further purchases. So and also after sales services have to be provided, so that the customer should always remain satisfied. So this is the difference between, these are the differences between selling and marketing. So summarizing the whole lecture or module, we can say that marketing is a societal process by which individuals and groups obtain what they need and want through creating, offering, and freely exchanging products and services of value with others. The core concepts of marketing are need, wants, and demand, products, value, cost, and satisfaction, exchange and transaction, markets, marketers and prospects, and relationship marketing. The marketing concept concentrates on buyers' needs, and then the means are identified to meet out those needs, considering customers as the king. Selling concept stresses on the needs of the seller, considering the seller as the one who rules the market. So the references for this topic are C.B. Gupta, Principles of Marketing, Philip Kotler, and Kevin Lane Keller, Marketing Management, Now, this is Kotler's book is very nice book, and in fact, earlier books were written solely by Kotler, but now it is available in the market as Kotler and Keller. Thank you, students. So this was Introduction to Marketing, Module 1, Lecture 1.